Hello, my fabulous friends, and welcome back to this week's Elevate Babe podcast. I'm your host, Antonia, and today we're talking about one of my favorite topics, manifestation. I see so many people who look at somebody else and think, wow, they're so lucky. Like their dream life just fell into their lap. But that is not always the case, if ever. It's so much more than luck. Everything is intentional. The life you want, you can absolutely design it yourself. It's not something that happens to you, it's something you create. The universe doesn't decide your path, you do. Everything in your life is changeable, from your career to your relationships and even to your bank account. So, playing the game of life, and it is a game. The key is mindset. Really, I know, as boring as it sounds, you've heard it a bloody billion times, we all know, right? But it is. Because the way you treat yourself is the way others will treat you. So, treating yourself with respect, other people will start to see you with respect. But life is a game, and you should treat it as such. You should treat it like a game, a fun game, where you're the main character. You know the saying, nothing has meaning except the meaning you give it? It's completely true. That obstacle that seems like a massive roadblock, it's only a roadblock because you've decided it is. Change the meaning, change the game. Just like, let's say, for example, I guess money. Even with your 9 to 5 job, it's like a game. You're putting in the hours, you're doing the work, you're on your computer, and at the end of it, you come out with a bit of income. If you just change that particular game, change the form of it, you will have a different outcome. Just like in any game that you play, let's say any board game, if you change your move, you will have a different outcome. Be it Monopoly, be it drafts, be it chess, be it Twister, be it whatever it might be. When you change your move, the whole game changes. So just think about that. So that's what people mean when they say that life is a game, because it is. I mean, money doesn't even have any meaning anymore, because back in the day, they used to put gold bars into what's now called a bank. And then in exchange for the amount of gold bars that you have that's worth whatever XYZ in the bank, they will give you a piece of paper in exchange to say, this gold bar is worth $1,000 or whatever. And so therefore you would have a piece of paper saying that you have $1,000 in the bank. So therefore it was worth something. Nowadays, people are just printing money. Like literally every single bank, I mean, the Federal Reserve, they're just printing money. It's absolutely insane and absurd. That is what is causing inflation as well, by the way. So, because the fact is because things just don't have the same value anymore, but money is increasing. So they decide to increase the price of things, which really does not make any sense. So you can kind of see there, like what kind of game they are playing. They is in the powers that be, the governments, the banks, they're literally playing a game with people. They are in the power seat. They are just abusing and using their power. But you can too, in your own little way. We all can. So if you want to improve your life, you just got to change your move or make the next move. But before you can start leveling up, you need to know what you're willing to play. You need to decide what you no longer are willing to put up with. What are you going to say no to these days? So I think saying no is so important because we all give our time away to people, to friends, family, work, the TV, I mean, I've started to learn how to say no a little bit these days, but sometimes I start finding, myself saying yes. And then I'm frustrated with myself going, oh, I don't actually want to do that this weekend. I actually want to stay in and work on my own projects, or even just stay in and have like a lazy weekend. I do get sucked up in front of the TV, though, I have to say. I'm a little bit of a sucker for that. And at the moment, there's so many good programs. Of course, as well, like I've got like Netflix, I've got Disney, I've got Sky, I got Prime. What else is there? Probably have that too. Apple, of course. And then, of course, there's YouTube. And I think that people are becoming more awake, right? And so therefore, because, well, obviously people are becoming more awake. We're all aware of that, because you wouldn't be listening to this podcast if you weren't becoming more awake, and I wouldn't be creating this podcast if I wasn't a bit more awake as well. But what I mean is like that the powers that be are obviously more than aware of this, and they do want to keep us part of their well-oiled machine. So people are starting to kind of drift off, and they're going to maybe set up their own e-commerce stores, or they're going to like create their own businesses, and they're more aware now than ever before that a 9 to 5 is just kind of basically modern day slavery. So they're keeping you a slave in other means, and that is entertainment, TV, YouTube, all of these lovely things. And I have to admit, as I just said, oh my God, I am a little bit of a slave to that. Well, not really a slave, but yeah, a little bit. Just because of the fact that I do love a good show, who doesn't? But I mean, at the same time too, I am a little bit picky. I'm not just the kind of person that will just sit down and watch a soap or watch any old show. I mean, it does have to be some bit good or entertaining. Though I have to say that now as well, my standards have dropped a little bit over the years. Before, I was just too cool to ever even bother considering watching reality TV. Now I'm obsessed with reality TV. I'm watching all the shows on Hey You. That's another app that I have. I'm watching, of course, the Kardashians. I'm watching all their housewives. I'm watching Below Deck. Made in Chelsea, all of these crazy bloody shows, and I do find them entertaining. It's like, yeah. Now, if I could probably just like keep myself to kind of go, right, okay, every little Sunday, I might just sit down and allow myself like, a day to watch them. That'd be great. But then like during the week, there's other shows on. I'm like, oh, okay, so I don't watch reality TV during the week, but I watch other things. And then the weekends, I'm like, right, let's sit down and watch a little bit of reality TV. Now, saying that, I am very aware of it. So, and it is kind of fairly winter-esque out there at the moment. So, we are coming in to winter from the tail end of summer. So I'm kind of allowing myself a little bit of indulgence, but I do need to kind of pull it up by the bootstraps, pull myself up by the bootstraps and pull it up by the ears and just be kind of like, okay, really need to sacrifice some watching hours. It's just like the phone. The phone isn't my biggest thing. Like the first thing I do in the morning is I don't pick up the phone and scroll the screen. I wake up in the morning, literally get out of bed, tie up my hair, and the first thing I do is maybe make a coffee or a tea and then sit on the couch. And then sometimes I like to kind of sit in silence, Sometimes I might actually put on a bit of YouTube. I know. Other times I put on a podcast. And then better times, I will try and meditate for a little bit. But there's nothing nicer than just like, sitting on the couch, nice and cozy, first thing in the morning, having a cup of tea. So at least I'm not on the phone straight away. Then maybe while I'm having my tea, I might check my phone, see if there's any emails or whatever. But other than that, then I just kind of leave it be. And I just kind of sit myself in my own space and my own silence and like listen to the rain outside or listen to the wind in the trees or just listen to the silence, and I love it. It's so soothing and so good. But basically, if you're willing to play the game, whether you're looking to maybe improve your relationships or improve your bank account, whatever that might be. The thing about saying no is just literally whatever you want to do, even if it is that you want to sit in front of the TV, even if it is you want to work on your projects or you just want some time alone, whatever that might be. If you're giving yourself away to other people and giving your energy away, giving your time away, basically you're just giving away your power, which is hugely important to be able to allow yourself to manifest. So the main thing you need to do is just learn how to say no. Be it to your kids, to your husband, your spouse, your partner, to your parents, your family, your friends, whatever that might be, even to your boss. Just say, sorry, no, can't do it. It's just something that I think everybody struggles with, but it's something that is the biggest thing that we all have that is the most powerful, as in, like, the biggest, simplest thing that we can keep for ourselves. That is ours, which is our time and our energy. So saying no is just crucial. So particularly as well, like when you know that like going to do things like going out, going on social events is, alcohol as well. And I mean, even if you do like to have a drink, maybe it's just like, oh, that's the one weekend I just really want to like stay in and chill. But your friends are going, come on, haven't seen you in ages. It is quite frustrating. But if you can just stick to your guns, and the fact of the matter is, if you do start to say no to people, you may lose people along the way, but that's okay because that just means that you are creating more space for better energy and better people, friends to come along, even better family. Because at the end of the day, if you're not happy within yourself and you're not doing the things that are going to be good for you, the people around you will feel the same way about you. So you need to be able to do the things that empower yourself because they will look at you then and go, wow, that person is doing exactly what they want to do and what they said they're going to do. It's inspirational and it's commendable and it's respectful. And then they will look at you with a totally different light. So to be able to do that is just so powerful. But yeah, so maybe it's the job that drains your energy. Maybe it's a friendship that doesn't lift you up, or even like negative self-talk rather, that holds you back. You have to create energetic boundaries and protect your space. And remember, reality is subjective. The world you see is a reflection of what you believe. Everything is pure energy, and you are the master of yours. So the power of being all in. To obtain your goals, you need to be all in. You need to be obsessed, not in a frantic, desperate way, but in a way that feels like you're on fire with passion. Every single thing you want is achievable, but it takes discipline to maintain a high vibe. It just takes a little bit of sacrifice, letting go of what no longer serves you. It just all begins to assist you in achieving your dreams. I mean, even just to raise your vibration a little bit in order to begin to feel better, that then in turn allows you to have more energy, to then again in turn feel a bit more better, so that then you are feeling more confident and maybe more inspired and more aspirational and more ambitious to go after your goal or do whatever it is that you need to do to change your life in order to make it better. So if you're looking to even just create that bit of energy, maybe you're tired in the evenings and you just want to put your feet up and throw on Netflix and that's it. But yes, you're like, damn, I'm just leaving. I'm giving my power away and I'm leaving my dreams float down the stream. So what you could do is just a little bit of sacrifice. So if you're in work, maybe it's not just the work that's tiring you and the long day that's in it, and the early mornings and the late evenings. And then when you come home, there's like loads of domestic duties to be done, whether it's like bringing the dog for a walk, emptying the bins, whatever it might be. That necessarily isn't always about the long day it's taken you. Could very well be about your diet. As simple as that. So if you're just eating convenience foods, deep fried foods, processed foods, pizza, bread is so bad for you. By the way, it actually rips the lining of your stomach, and then it allows for other things to get into your system, into your bloodstream, which then can go all over your body and can lead to autoimmune disease. So if you're going to have bread only sparingly, and have it like either a sourdough bread or an organic spelt bread or something like that. But stay well away from white bread, whatever you do. But it could even be that, something that you have in the daytime. If you're having like fruit first thing in the morning, which is not a good idea at all. Smoothies are the worst thing to have first thing in the morning because one, the fiber on the skin of a fruit you're meant to eat because that actually helps with the insulin. But also there's a massive insulin spike in your system, like literally as soon as you have a smoothie first thing in the morning. And then that's why you kind of crash later on in the afternoon. So having like a piece of fruit, they say you should eat your fruit and juice your veg. So, because like the veg then like gets into your system quicker, and the fiber of the fruit helps to create that fiber and stop the peak of insulin. So basically, it could be just something like that. Just knowing a little bit about what to eat and when to eat, knowing your own body, all these little things could really lead down to you actually having a better diet so that then when you do come home, you've got a little bit more energy to be able to just go online and set up that e-commerce store or create that podcast or write that book or whatever it might be. So it just starts with a little bit of sacrifice. So rather than like throwing on a oven pizza, get out the bloody juicer and juice some veg, or throw it on and eat it. Whatever that might be, just starting small will lead very slowly but surely to your bigger and better goals. So you don't necessarily have to go, oh my God, I want X amount of money, this dream job, this dream house, blah, 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 and then go, oh, it's not working. You have to start with yourself. And it's so achievable by just starting tiny, tiny nano baby steps. Start by doing that. Whatever you feel you're doing wrong, if you're smoking, drinking wine every evening when you come home from work, having too many coffees, having too many processed coffees, having too much white bread, too much processed food, too many having a smoothie every morning. All these things are not good for your health. So if you're picking them up in the shop, picking them up wherever, and you're going, I know I shouldn't really have this now, even if it's a bloody donut or whatever, then don't. Just, if you put it down once and walk away from it once, it will be so much easier to do it again, and then again, and then again, until you're like, I don't even want that anymore. That's the truth of it. That's how I curb a lot of things and how I've done a lot of things when it comes to diet, and that is literally by going, okay, this is the one time I actually kind of don't really want it, so I'm going to put it away and not have it just because I can. I'm not going to continue having it for the sake of it. I'm just going to leave it be. And then the next time I'm like, oh, don't even want it now. Not even thinking about it. So yeah, all these little tiny things do lead to, your energy being increased, which then in turn leads to your confidence being increased, and to all of this happening. It raises your vibration. But what are you really chasing? You got to know that first. You really have to know that first. Are you chasing the car, the house, the perfect relationship? No, you're not. You are chasing the feeling. We are after the feeling. Feeling is your way into your ideal situation. It is the one main thing that helps you to manifest, is feeling into it. So the second you stop with, okay, I'm using this as another little bit of an excuse, or not excuse, but as an example rather. Let's say the donut. So let's say you're going to go for that. The second you just say no to that straight away is one step towards you feeling better. And if you're feeling a little bit better about yourself for a second, then you do it again. You're going to be feeling better about yourself for a little bit longer and a little bit longer until you're feeling great. And then you're going to start feeling into your manifestation again of whatever that might be, because you're going, oh, I actually feel much better now. Therefore, it's like, I feel I really can get that house. I'm feeling that, yeah, I can totally buy that car. You are getting better and better at feeling into it. So that is what we all really want. We want the feeling of that perfect relationship. I mean, that is how you signal to the universe and to your subconscious that you are ready. Your subconscious mind picks up on everything, even things you're not consciously aware of. So you need to give your subconscious mind the right orders. So you do know that your subconscious mind is like your little genie. Ask yourself these questions. If I had a magic wand, what would I give myself? Or if you could not fail, what would you do? Or how do you want to feel every single day? The answers to these questions are your roadmap. So happiness isn't something that just happens to you. And the reason why I'm jumping into happiness now is because the car, the house, the relationship, the holiday, all of these things equate to happiness. So at the end of the day, you may get into the aspiration and the ambition and the inspiration to go for your dream job. You are going for that and vying for that because you feel it's going to make you happy. So at the end of the day, ultimately, that's what everyone wants, is happiness. But it is not something that just happens to you, like luck to somebody. You have to be it. So again, in order to be able to feel the way you want to feel, you have to start being that. You are in control of your life, and it's time to take the bull by the horns and live the life of your dreams. As cheesy as that sounds, it is bloody true. So valuing yourself at the deepest level is the final crucial piece, because you only truly know something when you are living and experiencing it. You can't just think about it. You have to feel it, live it, and breathe it. So to help you on this journey, I am going to create a hypnosis for you, and I'm going to upload it to this podcast channel, and I will do that next week for you. And if you just listen to this podcast every night, this will help to reprogram your subconscious mind to be able to get into the reality and reframe your life into you being the person that you can see yourself being in the future. Visualization is a huge thing as well. So whatever your goal might be, if you can just hold it in your mind every single day, work towards it, make those little tiny itty bitty sacrifices so you feel better about yourself, and get into the feeling of it. Get into the feeling of being it, doing it, having it, achieving it. And the world is your oyster. Absolutely your oyster. No matter what it is, nothing is impossible at all. And I just want you to know that. And there are so many podcasts out there in manifestation, and I have listened to so many of them as well over the years. But, I am reiterating a lot of what I know because I believe it and I have put it into practice. And it's so true when you do hear people say that, well, you may have heard this before, but maybe you need to hear it again. Because it took me many times of hearing the same thing over and over, going, oh my God, this person has talked about this before. I've heard it with another podcast, or somebody else is talking about it, blah, 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 or whatever. And then they kind of say, well, actually, yes, we have spoken about this before, but you may hear it a different way this time. And it's absolutely true. Suddenly your ears perk up and you're like, oh, I didn't look at it that way or think about it that way, or I heard it before, but didn't really listen to it before. So anyway, I'm going to do a hypnosis recording, as I mentioned. I'm going to throw it up in the podcast here next week. And I wish you all the best with your manifestations. And I'm going to be doing loads more podcasts on manifestation because I love it. What can I say? So listen, thank you so much for joining me in the podcast again today. It's my third podcast of Elevate Babe, episode 3. I am so excited to have you here with me. Please like, share, subscribe, follow, share, all those fabulous things. And I hope I will have you with me again in the podcast next week. Do feel free to get in touch, leave a comment below if you can. And I am so excited to have you back with me again next week. Until then, ciao for now.